What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black. It's STEVEE the Black. I'm back. 2 videos in one day, boy. Now we cooking. Um. So today, if you haven't checked out my last video, go check that out. It's my thoughts on the Fiend and Goldberg beating the Fiend at Super Showdown yesterday. So definitely go check that video out if you haven't already. And what else? What else I want to talk about today? Well, it's very simple. If you don't know, you're about to know, and that is the Undertaker is my favorite WWE superstar of all time. He is. For the longest time, it was The Rock and Stone Cold, but eventually, man, I fell in love with, not fell in love, but Taker just mesmerized me, man, and I really hated Edge back in, 2008, and I was really rooting for The Undertaker, and Undertaker beat him in WrestleMania. I've been a fan ever since. This is back when I still thought wrestling was real, right? But anyway, so the reason why I bring up The Undertaker is because we all saw The Undertaker yesterday come to Super Showdown. He choke slams AJ Styles with his hat and coat still on, and he wins the gauntlet match for that ugly looking trophy thing. I don't even remember the name. What is it? The Two-Wick Mountain Championship or whatever it's called. Yeah. First of all, Taker didn't even take it back with him. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, they just buried AJ Styles. And I don't think they buried him, but Undertaker beating him with just a chokeslam is kind of dumb. If it would have been a tombstone, or if it had been a chokeslam and a tombstone, then I would have been like, okay, all right, I got you. We all know the rumors. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles is planned for WrestleMania this year. Undertaker handpicked him himself because he said he is the modern day Shawn Michaels. And honestly, I can't see a scenario where AJ beats The Undertaker. I think it's just a way for Taker to get on the card and just to have another win for him. And I don't think AJ would mind losing to The Undertaker, to be quite honest. I'd be shocked if AJ won, which kind of partly worries me. The reason why he just beat him with one chokeslam at the show yesterday, but hopefully I'm wrong. But I got into a discussion yesterday. Like I said, a lot of people said, oh, Taker just buried, or the WWE buried AJ Styles. Again, don't think that's true, but it shouldn't have been just a chokeslam. That made him look weak. Had he been in a grueling match, then with a chokeslam, okay, I understand. But no, he wasn't. Anyway, so my friend Addy, he was like, Taker needs to retire. Yada yada. He says that all the time, and I'm like, bro, and I get why people are saying that, and I also just every time Taker comes out, I'm always scared something's gonna happen. I'm always scared he's gonna get hurt or something like that. And you're like, well, see, there you go. That's why he needs to retire, and I get it. But what was the common denominator in all of the things and all of the people that Stone Cold had on his new show on the network, Broken Skull Sessions? He had Taker on there, he had Kane on there, he had Big Show on there, and he had Goldberg on there. I don't know if Goldberg said it, but I know definitely Undertaker, Kane, and the Big Show said it. He asked them all the same question: when are you going to retire? When are you going to hang it up? And all three of them said the same thing: I'm having too much fun. I still love it. I still want to keep doing this. Obviously, I can't keep doing it like I used to do it, but when they need me to come, I'm more than happy to come, right? So I think that's how you do it, right? That is how, so if they keep loving it, then let them go. Why is it that you can do that in basketball? You have dudes in their 40s, in their late 40s, still, or early 40s, still playing basketball when they know they ain't nothing no more. They know they're going to be riding the bench. You got dudes in the NFL, mostly kickers and stuff like that, but you got in their sport into their late years, like their late 30s or whatever. You got in early 40s, you got people still playing. I don't hear nobody else telling them to retire. But it's wrestling. He needs to retire. You guys need to retire, bro. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that. What I am getting into is I'm having another video of how I think the Undertaker should retire. And I think this one is pretty good, right? So this year at Survivor Series, will be the Undertaker's 30-year anniversary. 30 years in the WWE. Incredible, right? Well, how do you capitalize on that? I will tell you how you capitalize on that. We all know, as I said in my last video, but we all know at WrestleMania this year, he's going to go up against AJ Styles, right? He's going to beat AJ Styles unless Vince has an epiphany, but I think he's going to beat AJ Styles. We also know at WrestleMania that Roman Reigns is going to beat Goldberg for the Universal title. And I already know where you're going with this. You probably already know where I'm going with this. And you're saying, no, this is a dumb idea. But just hear me out, okay? Just hear me out before you chew me out in the comment section. Just hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. Roman Reigns wins the title at WrestleMania. He beats opponent after opponent after opponent after opponent until we get to the build-up of SummerSlam. And then that's when we start the build-up for SummerSlam. And the Roman Reigns can say, I've beaten everybody. I've beaten Goldberg. I've beaten Lesnar. I've beaten Triple H. I've beaten all these guys. Nobody can beat me. I'm the best. I'm the champ. Blah, 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 blah. And then that's when we hear the gong. Taker comes out. And you already know what he wants. He's just going to go like this. He wants the title. He wants one last title opportunity, man. He wants one last taste of that gold. And it makes sense. Roman Reigns beat him at WrestleMania a couple years ago. We all remember that match, how terrible it was. But that's because Undertaker had a broken hip and had to get surgery. That's mostly why. He's had better matches since then. But hear me out. Just keep listening. It can be better. He's in better shape than he was then. He can work. As long as you keep it around 10, 15 minutes, it's fine. Anyway, so you build it up, say, like I said, Undertaker lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania a couple years ago. Then Taker came back and he helped Roman Reigns in his feud with Shane and Drew McIntyre last year. So Taker could say, hey, you owe me, bro. You owe me. I want one last title. I know you're a fighting champion. Let's go, me and you. And because Roman's a fighting champion, he's not going to back down. He's going to say yes. So what happens? SummerSlam happens. The Undertaker beats Roman Reigns. And first of all, people are going to love that because even though they don't like part-time champions, they're going to love the fact that The Undertaker beat Roman Reigns because you know who they're going to pick on. You know whose side their audience is going to be on. They're going to be on the side of The Undertaker. And people are going to like it, okay? So you can even have them have the reap. So Undertaker beats Roman Reigns for the title at SummerSlam. You could even have it of some way Roman Reigns gets a rematch at the following pay-per-view, right? And then after that, Undertaker goes away. He goes away. You have a couple pay-per-views. I think it's like 2 or 3. You know, every year in October, they always go back to Saudi Arabia. So you can have Taker go there, have a match for the Universal title. He can face whoever, beat him, retain the title, right? And this is where the story gets interesting, okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting. Hear me out. So, on the pay-per-view, it's either going to be on Super Showdown or whatever pay-per-view, probably that. Because remember, we're building up to Survivor Series. Now, hear me out. You have Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and let's say Sheamus, right? You have a triple threat match where the winner gets to face The Undertaker at Survivor Series for the Universal Championship, right? So you build up these 3 guys. Then, on the go-home show, where all 3 guys are supposed to come face to face, right? To have one last one last conversation amongst the 3 about why they're going to win the title and all that stuff and beat The Undertaker at Survivor Series, right? Which is being built up as the 30th anniversary of The Undertaker, because we all know he debuted in 1990 and now it's 2020, right? So it's being built up as that, yada, yada, yada. So Sheamus comes out, Daniel Bryan comes out, and Roman Reigns' music plays, but we don't see him. We're like, yo, what the heck's going on? Where's he at? So Roman Reigns' music plays again. Still no Roman Reigns. We're like, okay, where's he at? People are looking at Sheamus. Maybe Sheamus took him out to be a one-on-one match. He's like, Sheamus like, no, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. And then we get the Firefly Funhouse on the Titantron. And everyone's looking up like, yo, what the heck? And it'll be Bray Wyatt. And you said, sorry guys, Roman Reigns won't be joining us. He's a little busy at the moment. Tied up, whatever you want to say. He's gone. But don't worry. Because we got a suitable replacement for him. So then that's when The Fiend shows up. The Fiend has taken Roman Reigns out. And he's taken his spot. So now, it is The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus at, I'm guessing, Crown Jewel, whatever like that, right? Or wherever the match is. The pay-per-view before Survivor Series. So now, you have that. Obviously, The Fiend is going to win. He's going to win the number one triple threat. He's going to win the number one contendership, right? You can even have it build up to Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, because you can say Daniel Bryan took out Sheamus and then The Fiend took out Daniel Bryan, right? So now you have those two feuding, and now you have The Fiend, who is now the number one contender. Taker can appear in the ring and he'll be looking at The Fiend, and everyone's gonna be hyped up. Oh man, The Fiend versus The Undertaker. Because you can't tell me when The Fiend was created, people weren't thinking, oh man, you can have The Fiend versus The Undertaker. You can't tell me you weren't thinking that. Everybody was thinking that. So you have the two in the ring, and they're just looking at each other. Then the lights go out. The lights come back on. You hear the Bray Wyatt laughing. Taker's in the ring. He shakes his head, holds up his hand. Done, pay-per-view's done, right? Next Friday night on SmackDown, Taker can come out. He can say, I've had my eye on The Fiend for a while. He thinks he's the new King of the Darkness, Prince of the Darkness, whatever. But I'm not ready to give up that title yet. And I'm not ready to give up my Universal Championship. I'll give it up when I say blah, 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 blah. Dark stuff, rest in peace, all that stuff. The Fiend's going to come on the Titantron. Or not The Fiend. Bray Wyatt. Firefly Funhouse. He's going to say something like... He's gonna say something like this. He never forgets. No. Sorry. Firefly Funhouse plays on Titantron, right? But we don't see Bray Wyatt. What we do see is The Undertaker beating Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 31. And then we see The Undertaker and Kane beating Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper at Survivor Series from a couple years ago. We see those two things, right? So they're reminding us, oh, these two have fought in the past. And then we get Bray Wyatt on the screen and he says, Undertaker, it's time, man. You gotta learn to let it go, all this stuff. He never forgets all that stuff. He remembers what you did, and he's coming for you. He's coming for you. So now you have a story that's been building up for years in the making. The Fiend remembers what The Undertaker did to him when he was Bray Wyatt all those years ago. Every time he tried to beat him, he failed. So now, a couple weeks into this build, you can build it up, of Taker and The Fiend, a supernatural battle, again, like Undertaker and Kane from years ago, or Bray Wyatt and Undertaker from a couple years ago. Whatever. All that stuff. You get to Survivor Series. It is the main event. Because again, you're celebrating The Undertaker. All that stuff. 30-year anniversary. You're celebrating The Undertaker. It's the main event. The Fiend...
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Shut up. The Fiend will beat The Undertaker at Survivor Series. Right? He's got his revenge. He's got his title back. Everyone's happy, right? The Fiend is the champion again. After The Fiend leaves, The Undertaker will be still laying in the ring. He'll get up like, and people will start clapping, chanting, Undertaker, Undertaker. He gets up. He's just standing there. He's soaking it all in. He gets the mic, and he's like, you know, I'm really going to miss this. And we're like, oh, snap. He's really going to miss this. What? He's like, I've done this for over 30 years. You know, I've had a fun. I've had a blast. You know, I've seen many people come and go. You know, multiple time world champions. You know, the streak. But it's time that the Undertaker rest in peace. I just want to say thank you. All that stuff like that. Everyone's going to chant, thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker. So, then you can even have everybody come out on the stage if you want, and everyone's just clapping. It's the Undertaker. All that stuff. He's finally done. He's retiring. It's his 30th anniversary of his debut. All that good stuff. And then the next year, you induct him into the Hall of Fame. And that is all she wrote. Undertaker goes, he retires, and that is how you end his career. Personally, to me, if you're going to give the title to Goldberg, if you're going to give the title to Brock Lesnar, if you're going to give the title to The Rock, I mean, eventually you're going to give it back to John Cena, who's a part-timer now himself. If you're going to do all that, and I know people don't agree with part-time champions, but at this point we've gotten used to it. So if you're going to do all of that, you might as well give it to The Undertaker as a gift from Vince for giving up the streak a couple years ago, and say, hey, look, I personally think the streak never should have ended, but Undertaker is old school, whatever. You can say, hey, look, you gave up the streak a couple years ago. Here's the world title. He had a nice little run. Let's see, when's SummerSlam? August? He gives up September. That's like a 2-3 month reign. He has 2 title defenses, or 3. And then, you know, he puts Bray Wyatt over. He passes the torch to Bray Wyatt. And then he finally retires. He gets to go in the Hall of Fame. And then we're good. That's it. That is it. That is how you end Undertaker's career. That is how I would end Undertaker's career. Because I want him to win the championship one last time. And the Fiend gets the title back. So now the Fiend is rejuvenated. The torch's been passed to him by the Undertaker. It's great. And you have a future feud coming between The Fiend and Roman Reigns, because the Fiend took the opportunity away from Roman Reigns. And now you can build that up to WrestleMania to have The Fiend versus Roman Reigns. That is how you do it. That is how you end the Undertaker's career, bro. You got a future feud coming. You pass the torch over to somebody because that's what he believes. He's old school. And he got one last title run. That is how you do it. That's how you end his career, bro. So let me know what you think about this idea in the comment section down below. I'm out. And if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out. And that's it. Deuce.